some cat lasers. Make sure your cat lasers are tuned to the proper channel to properly receive Magic the Amateuring.
That's right, everybody. If you're listening to this through a radio, how did that happen?
That's weird. You should be listening to it through the mouth of your cat.
That's right. Hey, have we talked before about how this isn't radio? But more importantly, I feel like we've talked about this, right? That aliens won't hear it.
Yes, we've had that discussion, and
unless
it made
they're
me sad.
specifically listening.
Yes, because we don't have radio waves.
Exactly. We're not like broadcasting on radio waves out into space. So that 50 years from now, some aliens will be like, what's up? I also agree that Midsummer Night's Dream is not Shakespeare's finest work.
Would that make you happy if that was the first thing an alien said to you?
Yeah. Are you kidding? If an alien landed on Earth, I saw it first, and they looked at me and they were like, Midsummer Night's Dream is a bad Shakespeare play. I would just be like, welcome to our planet. I think you're going to do a lot of good here.
But the problem is aliens will never be able to say that to us because they're not hearing us over the radio waves, and you can only listen to Magic the Amateuring, as you know, by watching YouTube or by setting your cat in a corner, carefully tuning its meow radius and having it open its mouth and broadcast to you.
It's meow radius?
What did we say earlier? Meow, meow, meow. Tune the meow sensors. I can't remember what I said. You understand how to do it. It's your cat.
That's your cat. You figure it out.
It's a really creepy idea.
I'm just like picturing a cat sitting in a corner with its mouth open and our voices.
This is great.
Or like some classical jazz.
I mean, you can set it to whatever you want to play. A little known and a little used feature of most modern cats.
That's right.
Is their ability to broadcast. You bought a Bluetooth speaker and everything.
Straight from their mouths.
You sucker. Horrifying. Anyway, this is episode 238 of Magic the Amateuring.
Yes, it is. It's a podcast about Magic the Gathering. Also, some speculation about aliens and some critiques of classic theater.
Welcome. We're so glad you could join us today. On today's episode, we're going to talk about, many things.
Yes.
Many things,
yes.
including Meghan's recent, can I just say, top 8?
That's right, of an RPTQ.
Wow. Okay, that's a milestone for the show. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm just going to try and keep calm. But as you may be able to notice, I'm not very calm right now.
I'm pretty calm.
I'm pretty hyped up about it, Meghan.
I processed it a lot.
Meghan is way more calm about it than I am.
I've had a lot of emotional dealings with it.
And we're going to have a story time.
Yeah, we are. A magic story time.
If you're not caught up in the magic story, don't worry.
We'll let you know what's the what happening on Amonkhet through the end of Hour of Devastation.
Is this the final installment?
It's the end.
Oof. At the end of the segment, are you going to be like, the end?
The end?
End? Question mark?
I mean, not to give too much away, but this is going to end with you're not going to get a lot of closure.
Oh, boy.
So.
Okay.
How about that?
Preparing myself. We're also going to talk about Grand Prix Birmingham, which was modern over across the pond.
That's right.
As they say. And
not the Birmingham here.
No. Not the burning ham that you forgot and left on your stove. Go check your stove. Your ham is burning.
Why are you cooking ham on top of the stove is also a decent question if you're experiencing this problem.
What if you had the ham in a pan and then you'd had a very high lid to encase the ham in the pan on the stove?
But why? Look, you cook ham in an oven, okay?
I'm just asking theoretically if this would work.
Ham in the oven.
Would it work?
In the oven. No. There's going to be too much heat on the bottom. You're going to burn the bottom of your ham before the top of your ham cooks. We're also today cooking show.
Cooking show. I just want to know alternative ham cooking methods.
Specifically, ham cooking
Ham cooking. You could boil your ham in water.
Oh, God.
You roast a ham on a spit over a fire?
Roast a ham.
Okay.
You can. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like maybe you were talking about if you're thinking of a pig.
Yes.
Put a pig on a spit.
Yes.
But I was just imagining, the store-bought ham, but with a giant stick through it and rotating over a fire.
Could you cook a ham in a toaster oven?
What? I mean, God, why? It's probably too
smaller
big.
ham. Yeah, it would have to be a small mini ham.
It'd have to be a tiny ham. I'm honestly kind of uncomfortable talking this much about ham.
Well, let's talk about something else instead.
Right.
And that's patreon.com/MTAcast.
If you enjoy hearing how you can and cannot cook ham, please head on over to patreon.com/MTAcast and help us keep spreading the good word.
Good news
About not cooking ham on top of a stove.
Ham blessings upon you.
But seriously, all of the contributions that we get over at Patreon, even like I would say like $1 is where $1 an episode is where most people contribute. That's $4 a month. And it doesn't, you think about it, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it means so much to us.
Oh, yes.
Because all of those donations add up.
Yeah.
And they make a huge difference to us, and they make a huge difference to the quality of the show and the quality of the work that we're able to create.
Absolutely.
For instance, if we did not have a Patreon, we would today not be talking about ham.
No, we wouldn't.
Because we would not know what ham is.
There would be nothing coming out of your cat's mouth but meows.
Exactly.
Boring.
Oh,
Oof.
typical cat.
And if you become a patron, you get access to our Discord server. You get access to a whole bunch of rewards, the Facebook group that's specifically for Patreon members. You get bonus content. I mean, the list goes on and on, but the most important thing on the list, I think, is the good feeling you get from supporting media content creators that
and our undying love.
Our undying love that do things that you value in your life. Okay, so that's the end of my pitch there at patreon.com/MTAcast. If you want to help us out.
As well to our sponsors, cardkingdom.com. Cardkingdom.com/MTAcast. You can also leave a little comment when you place an order and have them send you one of our sweet stickers.
You may notice that Megan and I, if you're watching the youtube.com/MTAcast version of this, we are wearing their
Card Kingdom shirts.
They've got new merch.
Yeah.
New merch. And these are really adorable men and women's baseball cut. Baseball t-shirts that say Card Kingdom. They're super cute.
They're very soft.
Super soft.
I have my priorities correct.
Soft and cute.
Like the cat broadcasting this podcast. Do you know what? I was reading the other day, or today on Twitter.
Yeah.
Someone was like, I placed an order with Card Kingdom, and I realized that there was an issue with my order, but it had already arrived at my house before I could correct it.
That's classic Card Kingdom for you right there.
That is how fast you will get your things. You'll be like, oh no, wait, it's already here.
Yep, I ordered cards, true story, on cardkingdom.com/MTAcast yesterday, Megan.
Yeah.
And they will be in my hands in time to go play at GP Denver this weekend.
What?
So yeah. Oh yeah, we'll probably also mention that, what we're locking in for Denver times.
Right.
Yeah, but go there, check out their new merch. These shirts are really awesome.
Yeah.
And fast cards, fast people, and fast times at Ridgemont High. RPTQ Top 8.
Hey everybody, I went to an RPTQ. I promptly drew the first round. And by promptly, I mean, that's the wrong word. I drew the first round playing against a blue-white approach to the second sun deck.
Oh boy.
And then I went on to win my next 3 rounds, which meant that I could draw the last one and get myself into the top 8. I then had to leave.
Yeah, so this has been a question of contention on our Twitter. Everyone's like, no, Megan, what are you doing? Why are you leaving? Don't worry, Megan's fine.
I am good. As much as I love Magic, sometimes before you qualify for an RPTQ, you make promises to other people about things that you will do or places you will be during that RPTQ. Which is where I found myself. But it was still a great experience.
Yeah.
And Maria, I promised you a story about that blue-white approach match.
Yes.
You ready?
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I play against this blue-white approach deck.
Question.
And yes.
What's your deck?
Oh, I was playing blue-red control.
Okay, continue.
Before we get started, I have been practicing blue-black control online all week.
Yeah.
Literally the entire week leading up to it. And then I couldn't get all of the cards in time, so I was just like, heck with it. Like, I'm just taking this blue-red deck with me. So I went, I stayed out the night before because we had friends in town. So I stayed out the night before until literally 2:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Slept a couple of hours and was just like, do you know what? I practiced a different deck all week. I have to leave and I'm going to just stay out late and to heck with it. I'm throwing away my shot.
Yeah.
And then,
Perfect RPTQ mentality.
Very differently. So in this first match, my opponent is playing blue-white control, and I realized that pretty early on.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to understand what's going on. And I was like, oh, this is blue-white approach. So he casts, like, on my end step, my opponent casts a hieroglyphic illumination on, like, glimmer in response. Because you're tapped out, and there's nothing, in my mind, there's nothing that this deck conceivably plays on 5 that's a threat.
Right.
There's not a torrential gear hulk. There's not an approach. There's, like, you cast more card draw. And glimmer is slightly more valuable than a hieroglyphic illumination. So I glimmer, and then my opponent probably untaps and plays a 3-mana Gideon, and I was just like, well, fudge. And so my first
I didn't know
is
that
actually
deck
from
had
and most of them don't.
Okay.
So this was very unique. So my opponent, the first is a lesson from a mistake that he made, which is, turns go on, he's hitting me for 4 every turn with this Gideon, and I'm getting to the point where when you're in a control matchup, you don't want to have to be the person who starts trying to play threats first.
Right.
But I'm about to be cornered into a place where I'm going to have to cast Torrential Gear Hulk and just hope that it resolves so that I can kill this Gideon, and that's not a place that you want to be. That's a really sucky place to be the person who has to cast a spell.
Oh, what a terrible life.
What a terrible thing. So my opponent is easily winning with this Gideon, right? They've got me in the corner. And then for some reason, he tries to approach. He casts his approach, and I'm just like, why are you doing this?
You don't need to.
You tap yourself down to 2 mana, so I Torrential Gear Hulk. He's got and he has no good counter magic for it. Because that deck doesn't really run a lot of disallows or that sort of thing. It plays some Censors and some Supreme Wills for the most part. And so I land this Gear Hulk. Managed to kill Gideon. And also my opponent, tries to unsummon it on my turn.
Yeah.
Instead of with the 1 mana that he had left up. He could have unsummoned it on his turn, and I can't attack this Gideon, and I'm, in a crappy place again. So I, negate it, kill his Gideon. But eventually we get to the place where I lose, because he manages to resolve approach for the second time.
Okay.
So I lose that one. It's really hard fought, but the biggest thing was that he gave me an opening just by trying to resolve this spell when he was already winning the game.
Right.
Why?
You don't need to, and we talk about this on the show.
You don't need to do this.
If you're already winning, how do you lose? That's what you think about. How do I lose?
And he lost by losing his Gideon because he tries to cast the spell that he doesn't need to win the game.
Right.
So that was the first thing. And then so I go in and I sideboard in more counter magic. I have some negates, some dispels, a Sphinx of the Final Word, and 2 summary dismissals. And so we're playing, and we're just playing through the match, and my opponent on 7 plays Sphinx of the Final Word. And I look at my hand and I'm just like, crap.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing, you guys. I have Pull from Tomorrow, Summary Dismissal in my hand, and some other stuff. And I look at it and I'm like, crap, I'm just gonna lose because Sphinx of the Final Word says your instants and sorceries can't be countered. And I'm like, fine.
I feel like this is the second time you've told the story about you playing around Sphinx of the Final Word.
Yeah, probably. And so I cast my Pull from Tomorrow, just to be, and I hit my own Sphinx of the Final Word, and I'm like, well, this is at least something. And then, and I also end up with my second Summary Dismissal in my hand. This is embarrassing, everybody. FYI, you can counter a Sphinx of the Final Word with Summary Dismissal. Because Sphinx of the Final Word says can't be countered, and Summary Dismissal says exile all spells and counter all abilities.
Lessons learned.
But here's my point, is that then on my turn, I cast my own Sphinx.
Yeah.
Great. So now my stuff can't be countered, including my summary dismissals. So I proceed to counter to summary dismissal both of my opponent's approach of the Second Sons.
Oh.
Over the course of a game, and my opponent eventually ends up decking himself.
Wow.
So obviously that all, basically the point of this is that I ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
Thanks to realizing 20 seconds too late that my cards could counter cards that they can't be countered.
Let me tell you how many times I've had a counterspell in my hand and
boy.
I have been like, yeah, that resolves.
Yeah. But, I went on to win it anyways, and then we went on to draw game 3. Because we had something like 4 minutes left when we started it.
Oh, man.
So that was something else. But
that
anyways,
sounds like a crazy round.
It was really wild. And like eventually my opponent, like right after my opponent like tries to resolve these 2 different approach to the second sons.
Yeah.
So they had 3, and they had like just cast the first one, and I countered it because even though it doesn't, right, it still counts as being cast. So if they resolve a second one, it still is, they still win even if you countered the first. I was just like, that gets the copy into my opponent's graveyard. Right. Like I don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gone. I only have to counter these other 2 with these 2 summary dismissals. Anyways, I don't remember where I was going with this.
Let me ask you this question. This is like obviously Magic the Amateuring's first RPTQ experience. Yes. So you won a PPTQ to get there. Yeah. What was it like going in to the RPTQ where it's like, this is where you go to make the pro tour. This is the people who are the best in the region. What did it feel like?
It was pretty small and pretty chill.
Okay.
So that's it. It's pretty small and pretty chill.
Pretty small and pretty chill. How many people were there?
Like 38.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is like pretty small.
Pretty small. So that's top 4 gets an invite back to the next RPTQ, and top 2 make the PT. Yeah. So yeah. And anyways, so the next one I played like a black-white control deck, which is just great, That's just like, you're playing control, except I'm the one of us that has counter spells. Yeah. Yeah. A+. And then, so I also wanted, like, I realized after I won my second one against Mardu, and my third game against Mono Red. And that was the first time, you hear people talk about running hot sometimes. Yeah. Like people have said it before, like you don't top 8 a GP without running at least kind of hot. Yeah. And that was the first time in my life that I was like, I understand what people mean when they say that they're running hot. Because because Mardu and Mono Red are both bad matchups. Yeah. And I 2-0'd both of them. And it was just because it was just like, my draws were really good. Their draws were kind of bad. Yeah. And it was just like, yeah, do you know what? That's it.
Running hot. Yeah. And you told me if you had stayed to play, you would have had to face 2 mono red decks?
I would have had to face at least one. The first one would have been mono red, and I think the next one would have also been mono red. Okay. I believe. But congratulations to our friend from draft night. Sam Eilenfeld was also there, and he made it. He's going so to the excited. PT. He was playing mono red. He had picked up the deck for the first time that day. Yep. But had he had like a 5-page sideboard guide written out by our friend who top 4 GP Minneapolis with it. So he had a really solid plan. No one went to sideboard. And we've got 2 buddies now headed to the Pro Tour. That's right. Coming up, which is really cool. So exciting. And you mentioned sideboard guide, and we should talk about that on some show someday because a lot of people don't know to use one, and you can look at it in between matches. Mm-hmm. I had somebody. Do not look at it during the match. Don't look at it during. You can't do that. You will get a match loss. Do not look at notes during a match. No. Between your games. And I had an opponent at Vegas ask me if it was legal to do that, and didn't really believe me when I told him that it certainly was. Yes. And so it is. You can, and it's very, very helpful. And you don't have to write it yourself. You can ask your friends who play a certain deck to help you out, that kind of stuff. But yeah. And how do you feel like going into another PPTQ season, having done this RPTQ? Do you know what? I've talked before. I talked about after the PPTQ, after I was just like, I'm not a person that can do this, really. Yeah. And I feel like some people asked if I had dropped before I made it into the top 8, and the answer is that I didn't. Which I feel like you can, if you want to have a quandary with that, you can go for it. I see it as either like I drop and the person right below me makes it in the top 8, or also like I gave the person I would have faced, who's listener of the show, actually, Tim Auble. Oh, hi, Tim. Anyways, a scoop into the top 4. Right. But the truth is that, especially having to leave, I'm already feeling crappy about, like, I needed to feel like I could top 8 it. Yeah. So
let me tell you that is not nothing. Is proving to yourself you can do something. And having that win.
Yeah.
And I understand people who might have a problem with it, but at the same time, like, it is so important to you as a Magic player, like where you're going, advancing, how you're doing.
If you spend most of your time feeling like you're a person who could never make top 8 of an RPTQ, it means, like, sure, you're looking at it, it's like, yeah, but you couldn't win from there. It's like, that already felt like so much to me.
Right.
Of just like, holy F, I am a person who is capable of doing that.
Right, exactly.
Which is baller.
It reminded me of when I was in Vegas, like, how many years ago now? 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
And a guy kind of pressured me into a concession.
Oh, that's right.
And I didn't know at the time really why it made me feel so bad, but like I think it's kind of the same thing. It's like, yes, I'm not live for day 2. This is when you couldn't X2 and make or X3 make day 2. But I still really want to prove to myself that I can keep playing and keep doing well and have a better record or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's not nothing. It's not nothing, especially for players who are trying to get better and see the results improve or whatever. It means something.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, we'll just have to run it back.
Gonna try it again next time.
It's time for story time with Megan.
Well, hey, everybody. I just talked a lot.
You sure did. And now you're going to talk some more.
But I'm going to tell other people's stories. Which people? The people of Amonkhet. Do you want to know what happened to them? Only bad stuff.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time with these poor people on Amonkhet.
Yeah.
And they've had a rough run of it.
Maria, we wanted to see a plane just trashed.
And Amonkhet is a pile of garbage.
It's the one that it happened to.
Sandy garbage.
Yep, just a wreck of a plane. So I've touched on this lightly, but I'll fully catch you up. So the last time I talked about it was just a montage of people dying.
Yep.
Was the most recent thing that had happened on Amonkhet.
Yep.
Everybody dies. Bantu and Hazoret have their big fight, right? Bantu also dies.
Bantu dies.
With her last reckoning. And Hazoret is just looking real rough.
And Hazoret's leading the people out of Amonkhet in a biblical procession.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, that's the part where we were. First, Hazoret just kills the scorpion god. Hardcore.
Oh.
With some help from like Samit and Jero and like some other initiates and other
And it didn't
people
like just
and
reform?
The planeswalkers. No, they like burned it to a crisp.
Ooh.
They like turned it into ashes.
Delicious.
Just ashes. There's a big fight. Hazoret has to gets her arm stung by the scorpion and cuts her own arm off with her giant spear. Right? Because otherwise it would have killed her, right? The poison. So she just literally cuts her own arm off. And then they all, them and the planeswalkers who are there, all fight the scorpion god and kill it. And then Samit's spark ignites because she helped defeat the scorpion god, and Hazoret leans down and is like, I've been guardian of you for so long,
better
but now
as a creature than you are as a planeswalker.
Your spark ignite, you've been protecting me now, so thank you. And then I think Samit, when her spark ignites, I think she accidentally walks to Ixalan. I think that's where she goes.
Oh.
But she's only there for like a brief scene, right? It's like blue and cool, and she talks about looking up and seeing like this really weird, like strange but kind of familiar
pterodactyl.
Star pterodactyl star pattern, and then she wants to go, right? She's like, no, I have to go back to Amonkhet, so she planeswalks back.
I love how every time somebody's spark ignites, they accidentally planeswalk somewhere.
Right, that's like how your spark ignites is that you accidentally walk somewhere.
I just fell down the stairs into Mirrodin.
Whoops. So yeah, Samit planeswalks and then comes back, and then Hazoret is like, do you know what? The best thing that we can do is leave and go, survive and rebuild this world. So yeah, she and this little band of survivors take off into the desert. They're all straggling behind. And then Nicol is there.
He's not done with them yet?
Well, no, not in the desert. I mean,
he's just hanging out
over the city of Nocturne.
Okay.
And then the planeswalkers are there, and the planeswalkers are like, we've got to take him on. And Jason Gideon are like arguing about plans, and they're just like, there's no time for a plan. And Nicol Bolas is like, God, I want to murder somebody or just make them feel despair. either one works for me. That part's a little lame. I wanted Gideon to die.
This is what I'm doing. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat because I was sure some planeswalker was going to bite it.
Me too, but Gideon doesn't die. He thinks about just letting himself die.
But then he doesn't.
Then he planeswalks away. They all planeswalk away.
So like they're not really defeated. They just kind of lost a fight.
Yeah. So there's like a montage of Nicol Bolas fighting each of the planeswalkers in turn, and just they have no chance.
Yeah. No.
You do get that. They just have absolutely no chance. I'm trying to remember who's first. Like maybe it's Jace, and Jace like tries to get into his mind, and Nicol Bolas is just like swats him like a fly, and then Jace.
Nice try, mind boy.
Exactly, and messes with his head, and Jace planeswalks away. Jace starts to lose his mind, and planeswalks away.
Oh, he's going crazy?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks to Nicol Bolas. And then, like, Chandra tries to burn him, and Bolas is like, ha 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 ha, I'm a big dragon.
I breathe fire, fire woman.
Exactly. And then, like, Nissa tries to attack him with an elemental, and he, like, pulls her down with all of these, like, dead vine things. And then, let's see, Liliana, he's just like, you know that this is a losing proposition. And so she leaves.
Just talks her out of it.
Exactly. And then Gideon thinks about fighting and is like, I could fight until I die, and wouldn't it be better to just die at this point? But then eventually he also planeswalks away.
Where do they go?
No one knows. They're gone. And then Nicol Bolas has his giant army of scarab people.
And he's just like laying in wait for the next
Well, he has
thing?
Tezzeret. So Tezzeret arrives, right?
Oh.
And you learn that Ral Zarek has been working on something.
Okay.
He's like, go get Ral Zarek. Tell him to work faster. I don't know. And then they have like the planar bridge, right?
Yeah.
Is what they stole back on Kaladesh. So you get the sense that he's going to take this army of thousands of scarab, like that Lazotep covered mummies and all of his immortals, and take them to some different planes and conquer some planes with his giant army.
Nicol Bolas, Nikki B's taking over the universe.
I mean, are we going to Dominaria at some point soon?
Yes, we
My
are.
guess is that they're gonna go to Dominaria and
let's just start back and destroying where it all came from.
Exactly. So, story time.
Wow.
Things are bad. I wished that one of the planeswalkers had died, but if you read it, they all are like, we can fight him, and then they just are just like completely
totally obliterated.
If they're like Nicol Bolas is like a giant, and they are like flies.
They are the size of smaller than his hand.
Yeah,
his dragon paw.
Smaller than his giant dragon paw.
I kind of struggled with saying paw there instead of claw, but dragon hand, dragon foot. I'm not sure what the right word is for it.
I feel like
talon, claws. So we didn't get our wish for the death of one of the planeswalkers, but we did get the utter destruction of a plane, which we did ask for.
We did.
Amonkhet RIP. I hope Hazoret, you and your 1.5 arms are able to help the people of Amonkhet find some. Oh, just cut it off at the top.
At the shoulder, man.
Ooh.
At the shoulder.
Hazoret, I hope you and your one single arm are able to help the survivors of Amonkhet find a nice place to build some, build some houses, start some new families where you're not doing a weird, crazy Death Wish trial thing. Yeah. And instead you're like, hey, what if we made pottery? Ooh, that sounds nice. What if we set up book clubs?
What about pottery?
That's just what I want every civilization, once they're settled, to just be like,
hey,
what about pottery? Do we have to go conquering and getting more land for reasons that I am unaware of? Or can we just sit here and make a nice lazy Susan?
Pottery? I'm sorry, are you suggesting that lazy Susans are made of pottery?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way you could make it work. You'd have to make little pottery balls for it to rest on.
I mean, like, I'm sure you could, but that is just not the most efficient thing to make if you're making... Like, why? I just want to know why you would make a lazy Susan out of pottery. There's so many better things to make first.
You could make a pottery fork. That would feel so weird in your mouth. They have the Luxa there, so the mud is ready and available for potting. Oh, now I want to take a pottery class.
Do you though?
Yes.
I don't know. You're going to end up in some kind of ghost situation.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going feel like you're not going to be strong enough to throw it. You're going to be so messy. No. There's going to be a ghost who comes back and wants to help you make a pot.
Exactly. Have you ever did you watch Community when it was on?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they take pottery class?
No.
And, oh my God. So there's like a season, I don't remember which season it's in. But I want to say Britta and Jeff take a pottery class.
Yeah.
And or maybe I'm messing up who it is. But anyways, the professor is just like, and no matter what, like, no ghosting.
There is no ghosting in this
he's
pottery
like,
class.
you will fail the class. Like, no, don't you dare. It's great. That was a good show.
Oh yeah.
Good show for a long time.
Solid show.
Anyways.
Anyway, the end. GP Denver preview.
Hey everybody.
This weekend we are venturing,
We are venturing.
which is
What
not
is venturing?
short
Figure it out.
for inventioning, but rather a misspeak of we are adventuring to the land of mountains, Denver, Colorado, to play some standard.
That's right. Home of the Denver Broncos.
Home of the Denver Quiet People, which is their world championship reading team.
Home of the Denver Science Museum.
Home of shorter breath when you climb up a mountain.
Home of the Denver Art Museum.
Home of a lot of recreational
Drug use.
Yeah, so we've been talking on the show a lot about Denver coming up and how we're going to play it and what decks we're going to play. Megan, what have you decided upon?
I am playing blue-red.
Oh, there it is.
You know what? Sometimes you play a deck a bunch, you do terribly, and then you don't play it and you do well, and then you just say to yourself,
you know what?
Heck it, I don't have any control over what's happening in the world.
Let's just play it.
So I will just play what I own.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? Just surrender yourself to the metagame.
That is where I am.
I shall be playing Blue-White Monument.
Ooh, that's a nice deck.
Yeah, I
like it.
Perfectly serviceable deck.
It
and
is.
When I sat down and thought to myself, Maria, what color do you want to play? The answer is, of course, white. I want to play white. So what deck is the best deck that has white in it? That's not a control deck. Well, your options are one or two things.
Yes. You can play Mono White Monument or Blue White Monument.
There's the black white, like
no,
hidden stockpile, but I'm not doing that.
Or there's nope, never mind. Anyways,
that's it. No, you could play Mardu. I could play Mardu.
There you go, Mardu.
But I'm not
But Mardu isn't
Mardu.
really a white deck.
I'm just bored of Mardu, to be honest with you.
Aren't we all?
But just like I want something new. So I've been practicing with it, and it's going. This is what I can say for it. I played a lot of different decks, and I lost, I believe, all my matches I played with them. You might say to yourself, "That's a feat, Maria. How do you lose every single match you play with a deck?"
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I was able to accomplish it. And I was like, I don't know what's real anymore because obviously I'm just like awful at all of these decks. And then I picked up White Blue Monument and I won 2 matches. And that, ladies and gentlemen,
that is
what solidified me playing that deck. So, White Blue Monument, welcome to my life. We are going to GP Denver together.
Yeah.
We've had a short courtship, but it's been a mediocre one. And we, you know what? We're just going to go for it.
Short but mediocre courtship.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't long, at least it wasn't great either.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. We'll see what happens.
So I was playing last night and I realized, so we were talking just a little bit ago about sideboarding guides.
Yes.
And I had been struggling with this matchup with my deck versus yours.
Yeah.
And finally I just like looked at it and I was like, do you know what? These ways I've been sideboarding have not been working out. So, you know, screw everything. I'm just going to try a really wild sideboard plan.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It worked out. It worked out really well.
I mean, like, sometimes you just gotta go all in.
Sometimes you need to try it. And that's what practicing is for, right? I forgot. Like, sometimes you forget. But practicing is for trying things to see what works best. Not just, like, trying again and again what you already think is best.
Yeah.
Because then you're not learning anything new.
And, you know, like, I still have to decide which kind of cards I'm going to put in the deck. There's a final few slots. There's a whole bunch where are like set in stone. But am I going to run, like, am I putting these stasis snares in? Am I putting these negates in? Am I putting these, how many metallic rebukes? Whoa, sorry. Tune your cats. Tune your cats. They're a little out of tune. Wherever your cat is.
Yeah. Or maybe you're someone's calling your cell phone. Interfering
it could
with the
be
frequency.
either of those things. But yeah, so I played this deck more than I played mono white in GP Minneapolis last year. Yeah. But, you know, that really doesn't mean anything because that deck turned out to be like super well positioned. Just on a complete happenstance.
Man, I miss Languish.
Oh, Meghan. You've got Hour of Devastation. You've got Bantu's Last Reckoning. You've got frickin' Hour of Revelation. You've got Sweepy McGee, Fumigate. You've got
Sweepy McGee. God, how did I forget about good old Sweepy McGee?
Dear Magic, the next time you have an unset consider Meghan and I to write your card names. Sweepy McGee. And it's some just guy with a broom. But it's thing,
a giant with a broom.
A giant with a broom.
Up all these tiny little creatures.
Yes.
Oh.
But the way you have to use it is you have to use the card as a broom, and so you put it on, and you have to sweep the permanents off.
Sweepy McGee.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, we'll be there if you're at GP Denver. Come up and say hi. We always want to say hi to people. We'll give you a high five, and you know, don't be shy. We don't bite.
Don't like pie
unless you're a delicious donut person.
Man, I feel bad for donut people.
Yeah, they really have a hard shake of it right
now.
Do. Let's talk about Modern, baby. Let's talk about decks that see the beat.
It was right there. It was right there.
Decks that beat. Well, we had 2 GPs this past weekend.
Yes.
Grand Prix Birmingham.
Yes.
Grand Prix Sao Paulo. Yes. And they were both modern. Yes. And here's the cool thing. Most of the decks in the top 8s were all different.
Yeah. So, Maria.
Yes.
Take a look at Grand Prix Birmingham.
All right.
We have Bant Nightfall Humans.
Yeah.
All right.
That deck is pretty cool if you've never heard of it. I played against it in real life, actually, when I was preparing for Vegas, playing my bogs. Because, you know, here's something I'll just stop briefly and say. Playing a deck in real life is really different than if you've been playing online or something, and vice versa. So it's kind of important, I think, if you've been testing primarily online or, you know, whatever, or only with friends and you want to play an online tournament, that you try it out in real life because it plays out a lot differently. Anyway, I played against this Bant Nightfall deck. It's a really cool deck.
Just plays a lot of different humans.
Lots of humans.
Some collected companies. Retreat to Coral Helm for a little combo with Knight of the Reliquary.
Knight of the Reliquary.
Cute. Then we have Lantern Control.
So Lantern Control, still controlling.
Oh, hi, friends.
Still being the bane of most people everywhere, except for Meghan.
What a beautiful thing it is.
Yeah, doing pretty well.
Yeah. Abzan Company.
Yes.
This is the one that has Devoted Druid and
combo
Vizier of Remedies to make 1 billion mana.
I'll make 1 billion mana, please.
Excuse me, 1 billion mana, and then uses Duskwatch Recruiter to find a walking ballista and make a walking ballista that is big enough to kill you.
Burn.
Which is what won.
Yeah, Burn won this tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I cannot pronounce this person's name. I'm very sorry.
We're sorry, but
Loic Lebriand.
Burn with 4 Shrine of Burning Rage.
Ooh,
which is kind of cool.
That's exciting. That.
It's been a while since Burn's taken something down, so it's kind of neat to see it win, even though nobody likes playing against Burn, just generally.
But you know what? Then we have Titan Shift.
Titan Shift.
I like this deck.
Titan Shift is a really cool deck, and it was the second most popular deck at this tournament.
Ooh, after
Death Shadow.
Grixis
Death Shadow. Yeah, so these other decks are kind of making their way back up.
Yeah. Here we go.
And
here's a
speaking
Grixis
of
Death Shadow. Moving on. We have another Abzan deck. This one is not a not the combo.
No.
It just has,
Mid-range.
some Grimplayers, some Tarmogoyfs, good old friend Tarmogoyf, some Liliana of the Vales, classic hits.
Black Green Rock.
Yep. Again, just some classic hits. Tarmogoyf, Liliana, all right.
Plus Kitchen Finks.
Oh, yeah.
In that version.
There we go.
So look at this diversity. Look at this diverse top 8.
Look at all those decks.
I love it.
We had more Death Shadow in Sao Paulo.
Yes.
We had just 2 though.
Yeah, just 2.
Another Bant Nightfall, another Titan Shift, another Abzan Midrange, another Abzan Company, a Black Green Tron. And a Jeskai Control.
Black Green Tron.
Oh, interesting.
That I'm gonna take a little scroll.
A little scoop at that
to see that.
Maria, do you know what? As we were browsing this page, do you know I remembered some news that we should talk about?
Oh yeah,
which is the exploring Ixalan by exploring our world, like geocaching.
Yeah.
For different pieces of Ixalan, like art and previews and story and that sort of stuff.
The end, it affects the story.
Yeah.
So Megan, tell everybody what's happening.
I just...
So, like, you can go and register on geocaching.com or something like that.
Yeah.
To be a part of this craziness for Ixalan.
Yeah.
Where you go and find stuff.
You go geocache.
And there's going to be community members that have clues. I was slightly confused by it so much.
It's like a treasure hunt, you guys. It's like a real life big old pirate map.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
It does.
I hope one of the things that you're able to find is a real life dinosaur encased in amber, and then we unleash Jurassic Park
on the world.
Yeah.
There's not a new Magic set coming out. There's Jurassic Park.
It's just Jurassic Park happening.
There's Jurassic Park.
So...
Do you know what? At the RPTQ, I did get a sick Pirate Vraska playmat.
Ooh, Pirate Vraska. So you got, you're already one step ahead.
Oh yeah, it was great. Like a deck box and a Pirate Vraska playmat. It's pretty cool.
What do you think is in this black?
The color scheme is beautiful.
What is it?
It's just the color scheme on it. It's just this luscious green background with this big feathered dinosaur on it.
Oh, I'm so excited for Ixalan.
And Vraska and pirate garb. Oh,
I hope Evolve comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it can't. I want to see colorful, beautiful dinosaurs evolving into other dinosaurs. Anyway, Black Green Tron. It was my guess was proved correct. World Breakers in this deck.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Stupid effing World Breaker.
World Breaker. Why does it have to come back from the graveyard? That's all I wanted.
Why? Why does it? Why?
Why does it have to keep breaking my world? It should be called Keep Breaking Your World Breaker.
World Keep Breaking her.
We've been playing versus a lot of ramp, as you may be able to tell from our hatred of World Breaker.
Yeah.
In standard.
In
standard. So this is really cool just to see that Modern is healthy and there's lots of different decks in the top 8s. Go out there and play whatever the heck you want, apparently.
Just go forth and play it.
This has been your Modern update.
Go forth and play it.
What's up, chicken butts?
Hey, it's the end of the episode.
We did a show.
We did. You listened. Did you? Or did you not?
Get prepared to close your cat's mouth.
That's right. Otherwise, they'll just sit there with their mouth open in a corner.
Like broadcasting static.
Yeah. And no one wants to hear their cat broadcasting static.
So thanks for tuning your cat's ears into us this week.
Yes, like tiny antenna arms that you can adjust to pick up the signal that you want.
And I want to tell you that you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MTGcast. So easy to remember, you might just forget.
What?
You can find a whole new public service announcement on there that we posted yesterday. So for YouTube's Day, it's pretty good. Did you look at it, Megan? What are you doing?
I was just laughing because you have this nail polish on your shelf and it says "polish me silly," but for a second I looked over and thought it said "Polish."
Polish me silly. Does that mean just feed me Polish sausages until I'm meat drunk?
I have no idea what Polish me silly would mean. But
I'm Maria and I'm Nurple.
Polish me silly.
Polish me silly. Magic the Amateuring's new catchphrase.
Thank you to everyone who is already contributing on our Patreon, patreon.com/MTAcast. It really does mean the world to us. You keep the show happening. If you are not already a patron, please consider becoming one. Again, as little as $1 an episode makes a world of difference when it's a couple of people every month who are beginning to contribute at that level.
Even a penny in the pot eventually makes your pot full of copper, and if you trade in copper, it's relatively valuable.
Oh.
Like, that's why people steal copper pipes out of houses.
That's a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Who knew?
Well,
anyway.
Thank you again to our sponsor, cardkingdom.com/MTAcast, the perfect place to purchase cards if you're about to head out to a tournament near you, far from you, or anywhere in between.
And you can get these brand new shirts and other merch that they've added to their store. Cardkingdom.com.
Until next week, Polish me silly.